Shvat, Chavtet Shvat, marks the Hilula of a really great Iraqi rabbi. His name was Harav Moshe Chaim Shamash. Zecher Tzadik Livracha, or you can add in brackets the word Shlomo just after Chaim in of itself. He was a great Iraqi rabbi of a golden age in Iraq. He'd be the Chaim Bashi at one stage in time towards the end of his life. A very great rabbi in of itself. Let's explore a few of the highlights of the great rabbi's life. He came from great rabbinic auspices. His father's name was Rav Shlomo, happened to be a great rabbi in of itself. He would get married to his wife, Rabbanit Esther, which we'll brush on in a minute. Among his, let's just say, his grandparents was especially his grandfather, Rav David, from his father's side, who was a very great rabbi. And most notably, his rabbi, you could say, was Hacham Abdullah Samech, the famous founder of the Yeshivat Bet Zilka, a place we've spoken about, a great Torah academy we've spoken about on various occasions before. Now, it's actually interesting. He was born, Rav Moshe was, I believe, in the year 1836. He would pass away in 1923, to be precise, on the 15th of February. That was naturally the 29th of Shvat, towards just the end, just before Rosh Chodesh Adar in of itself. He, as we said before, become the Talmid of Rab Abdal Samech of the incredible Torah Academy called the Midrash Bet Zilka. So it's actually interesting. I think, come what the year now, let's just advance a little bit. In 1890, it was reported over, most notably, the rabbi was, along with other people, sentenced to prison. You could definitely say anti-Semitically, along with Rabbi Nissim Halevi, Rabbi Avram Eliezer, and Rabbi Avram Cohen, for bearing Chacham Abdallah Samech, arguably one of the greatest Iraqi rabbis in Jewish history. It was reported over, it was in the tomb of Yoshua HaKohen Gadol, the famous high priest over there. So the Rabbi Chacham Abdallah Samech's burial, let's just say, was considered by the authorities to be a desecration, some sort, of the Muslim religion over there. So very much anti-Semitic related, and we've spoken about this, I believe, before in the video of Chacham Abdallah Samech, that which we did in the Hilul video a couple of years back. And I'm not too sure if he actually spent time or not. The authorities put him away, but apparently the charge was there. Now, it's actually interesting, as we stated before, he got married to his wife, Rabbanit Esther, came from a very great family. And remember, usually it was very common in those time periods where people of great stature within a great time with the Chaim will get married into great families. So he would get married to the daughter of Rabbi Yaakov Bar Yosef Harofeh, very famous person that we've spoken about on various occasions before. He himself happened to be a dayan, a judge, a posek, and one of the famous people of Baghdad, respectively, and author of various different Torah colossal works that happened to be his, naturally, his father-in-law. And it's actually interesting, he would actually was very, very great with regards to writing manuscripts of Torah, halachic commentaries in of itself. And I believe he didn't have himself time to print all this Torah inside books during his lifetime, but I think maybe it might have got printed after his lifetime, if I'm not mistaken, but I'll have to double check on that. So it's actually reported over that he would actually serve as a dayan in the Jewish court. He'll become, with the head of the Jewish court at that point in time, was Rabbi Yechezkel Moshe Halevi, who was a very great rabbi in his time period in Baghdad, and also with Rabbi Ezra Tzalach Adam, who was another great rabbi. It's actually reported over that after Rabbi Yechezkel Halevi passed away in the year 1914, the rabbi, let's say, swapped position with him, or came into his position in of itself as head of the Jewish court over there. Then come with the year 1918, Rabbi Moshe Shamash would actually now, I think, take over from Rabbi Yerucham Elishar, another great rabbi, as a Chacham Bashi, let's say the chief rabbi of Baghdad. That's a position he would take until the year 1923. That was the year he happened to pass away, if I'm not mistaken. That was a very, very prominent position at that point in time. Remember, the chief rabbinate position in of itself is always a pinnacle in most of the countries in itself, and that very much represented Iraq during this time period. It's reported over that it was a time of conflict with the Iraqis and English in general. I think the Iraqi people would revolt against English and requested or demanded independence during that time period. It's actually reported over Rabbi Shamash was absolutely brilliant people's person, great within regards to dialogue, and knew how to get the Jewish community, let's say, out of bad situations in of itself. It's reported over that the English respected him very much so, and also the Iraqi community respected him, the population in of itself. They saw his moderate conduct, and they really very much appreciated it. It's reported over that the English had decided to crown King Faisal the First. This was reported over, I think this was, I think it would naturally be the king of Iraq from 1921 to 1933. Eventually, King Faisal the First would. Rabbi Moshe invited him to visit, I believe, the synagogue Bet Knesset Eliyahu, if I'm not mistaken, before his coronation. So he had, let's just say, correspondence with various different royal and monarchy figures. And so the rabbi would give him a blessing, a beracha, and gave him, reported over an amulet, a golden amulet over there, which is interesting enough. And I believe the king really, or King Faisal, really was mesmerized by him and praised him and praised the community also, and promised to protect the community's rights in of itself. And it's actually interesting that it was a time period where Zionism, let's just say, was very much in the fore, especially during the early 1920s. We know obviously there was a formation of the Medinat Israel, the state of Israel, in the year 1948, and many of the Iraqi Jewish population would actually move after 1948. So they would speak very much within regards to this at various different occasions. Now, I'm not too sure if he left his position when he passed away or not, or maybe he a short window of time before he passed away, he left this position, but it was very, very, let's just say, a prominent position, and really did huge greatness. He was in correspondence with various different great rabbis, including especially the famous Rabbi Yosef Chaim Sharim, a great rabbi we've spoken about before, who really praised him to the highest level. Now, there's always famous pictures, especially of the famous Iraqi rabbis from the early 1900s, which I very much recommend everyone to look at online. There's a lot available. Among his sons included Avram, Rav Eliyahu, and Rav Yaakov, and among his daughters was include the Rabbanit Chaviva, who would actually get married to Rabbi Ovadia Gabai, who was a very great rabbi, and Katon, I believe she happened to be her husband happened to be Rabbi Yechezkel Kazaz, who was a very much great rabbi of that period also. So I would recommend everyone to learn about the Iraqi Jewish history. In of itself, he passed away 102 years ago. He was about 87 years of age. The great Rav Shamash was when he passed away. Now, friends, we're a community here. We're learning about the great rabbis of yesteryear. If you happen to be related to any of the great Chachamim we're speaking to, please send me an email. I would love to hear more. If you haven't subscribed yet to the channel, please subscribe. We're coming close to 6,000 subscribers. And also, if you feel anyone will be interested in watching these videos, share the videos to those people respectively. So wishing you blessings here from Bet Shamash in Israel. Take care and be well, everyone, and good luck.